Well, I think we got it. Finally we completed our traversal system, which in addition to the use of stairs now includes horizontal and vertical climbing on walls, as well as a swimming system. All of these working together with our new character model, and we also have a small preview of the tutorial scenario for our next addition, which will be the stealth system. So get comfy and join us in this, the 7th devlog of our game, which little by little seems to be getting closer to fruition. All of this coming up next. In the previous video we worked on the detection system for climbables under borders, and during this week we finished connecting all the parts, so now we can use the border detection not only to limit the horizontal and vertical movement, but also to slightly snap our character to a correct position to avoid bugs when transitioning between these states. There's still a small bug that eludes me with this detection system when climbing down a ladder in a specific angle, but that bug is only delaying the inevitable. The system itself is quite simple, but it took a lot of time to get it working properly. An effort that was certainly worthwhile, not only for the new tools we learned, but also because now that we introduce shortcuts and vertical routes to our game, this scenario is much more fun to explore. Please do not pay too much attention to our pointy rocks. I need to introduce, among many other models, flat stone walls to avoid hiccups in the climbing animations and transitions. The swimming system is also quite simple, and we also use a raycast to control it and to measure the depth to which we have sunk. And within the swimming state, you have also access to climb walls and jump up to obstacles, but we have to put a boolean to decide which actions are available while swimming, so that you cannot jump to high obstacles if you're not standing on the ground. We made the decision not to introduce diving mechanics, and believe that this will be enough for our scopes. I mean, we have to draw the line somewhere if we want to finish our game eventually, and believe me, we have already gone through here quite a few times in the past. But what I do want to add later is a simulation for buoyancy when falling into the water from graded heights, because right now the vertical position of the character is fixed at water level, something quite unpleasant, but at most another minor quality detail that we'll have to wear in the corner of the list urgent to-dos. And I also want a drag system to slow the movement and animation of the character depending on how deep he's submerged in water, if he's still standing. A mechanic that we'll use a lot much later in the final level of the swamp to raise the difficulty of the level. Both should be easy to introduce, but as they are usually solved with a rigid body, a component that our project does not use, we'll have to find some alternative ways to simulate it. But I mean, if we already simulated root motion, how difficult can it be? Words I'll surely regret saying later. So, with all being said, I present to you our traversing system. More than one component requires adjustments, like the rest of the systems in the game, but the most important thing here is that with all the logic working, now we can go crazy with the level design. I've been working a lot more on the first scene, and the levels that come after should come out much faster as well. I've also been working a bit in the tutorial level for our stealth system, that in summary will work as follows. Once the chicken collection mission that will take you to explore and climb the rocky area is over, you will need to head to the crop fields to catch the sky pigs now and return them to their pen. But, unlike the chickens, they will be much more elusive and you will need to take them by surprise. Please do not pay too much attention to the visual representation of the stage. We need to create new assets for each section, but right now we use what we had as a visual assistance. In the first section of the crops that will be the wheat field, it will be enough to crouch and move silently within the overgrown vegetation to approach the pigs and take them by surprise. I will have to adjust the camera of the crouching state, which currently is too close for this mission. In the second area of fruit bushes, because you will not be able to clip through them, and they will function more like the walls of a maze, you will have to look at the movement patterns of the peaks to be able to stay out of the line of sight and stealthily approach them by their blind spots. And finally, in the section of the fruit trees, you will have to make use of the previous dynamics, but in this case, as there is no way to hide, you will have to knock down or throw apples to distract the pigs enough to be able to get close from behind. So in addition to creating the stealth system, I also want to add a way to collect and launch projectiles, to create distractions or do damage, a tool that will be quite useful in the following levels, with more risk and dangers in play. Taking advantage of the fact that it has been some time since we talk about the rest of our mechanics, I will take the opportunity to quickly summarize our progress so far, our scopes with this game, and our short-term goals. To keep an eye on our progress, why not subscribe and help us along the way, or maybe supporting us with a like that costs nothing, but puts a smile on my wrinkle and dumb face. But well, in addition to mobility, we have already working the following systems at a basic but functional level. Main menu with saving system and access to load various save files. Pause menu with return to the main menu. Inventory and equipment systems with quickbar for using combat. Items of different hierarchies, generics, consumable, equipable and weapons, all with pop-up descriptions as well. A combat system based on hitboxes, with targeting and dodge, loot drops, among other optional rewards. A branched and interactive dialogue system based on flexible conditions such as mission status or possession of items with cinematic frames. A quest system for missions and objectives with pop-up information intertwined with our system of inventory, combat and dialogue. In general, also quite flexible to be able to make a quest out of anything. And of course, all of this work with our saving and loading system. And well, after this, what's missing? For the final goals of this project, in addition to finishing the current scene, another 2 scenes are missing, of more or less the same size of the first one, with all the 3D assets necessary to fill them. Among NPCs, animals and enemies, we have considered 16 more character models in total, and we need to design all the audio and music of the game. We need to create the UI of all our interfaces and highlight the visuals with particle effects and post-processing. In addition to look up the process and requirements to publish our game on various platforms. We aim to finish all of this to get a complete game by the end of this year if all goes well, with an estimated playtime of 90 minutes. But in short term, I want to focus on taking the first tutorial level of the game to an advanced state, so we can share it and hopefully get people to play it. It doesn't have to be with the final quality of a demo, but ideally with the level of quality quite close to what is desired to leave a good impression. Something close to the beta of a demo if you wish. Already with good looking UI, with the dialogues and missions working, to be able to receive feedback from an early stage, with which being our first commercial game would be an invaluable resource. If all goes well, I would like to reach this point in about 2 to 3 months at most. So stay tuned in case you are interested in playing and testing our game. I have no idea how realistic this is, but I will enjoy my ignorance as long as I'm allowed. And with this we come to the end of the video. If it was to your liking, consider joining us in our streams on Twitch, Tuesdays and Thursdays, from 4 to 7 Central, where you can see me collapse emotionally in real time, or in our social media, links in the description of the video. Thank you very much for staying with us until the end of the video. All of your support and interest is amazing and mean the world to us. I am Mark from TryHard Studio, and without further ado, for the moment just to wish you as always, a lot of success in your projects and see you soon.